Oh, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
American Forces Vietnam Network. This is AFVN, serving the American fighting land 24 hours a day from the Delta to the DMZ, with transmitters in Quang Tri, Da Nang, Quien Yang, Pleiku, and Nha Trang, with the key network station in Saigon, Vietnam. Striking a blow at the enemy without endangering yourself is hard to do. There is a way, though. We call it the Chieu Hoi program. Every day, thousands of leaflets are dropped along known and suspected enemy trails, urging the enemy soldier to turn himself in. He's promised fair treatment and government protection if he does so. When he turns himself in, he expects you to follow the rules, too.
Đại viên mùa hạ của Tổng thống Cronauer, tướng Singapore, người hùng của Indonesia. Of more nations holding French war in South Vietnam over recent camps. Corporal Barry W. Duff, Baltimore, Maryland.
Under the glorious banner of the South Vietnam National Front of Liberation, and with their hearts burning with deep hatred for the U.S. address against them and the traitorous lackeys, they will continue to take the offensive with consummate daring and fight most valiantly, dealing 100 times or 1,000 times heavier blows at the enemy. Vietnam will win. You can say that people of the whole world unite. Long live the Wilson Television. Long live the militant friendship between the Chinese and Vietnamese people. Long live China around the death. Long live President Ho Chi Minh.
Vietnam! Well, that one's got to go down in history. Can't talk for a week, but it'll go down in history. Well, here we go. Welcome aboard the Dawn Doctor, portion number 2 for a Thursday morning, the 6th day of April, 1967. Army Specialist Don Fox here with you. We continue till about...
In Vietnam, the communists planted a mine or a bomb in one of the shipping channels leading into Saigon Harbor, ran a wire over the shore, and sat there until an American ship came in and then blew it up. The ship was the Baton Rouge Victory, loaded with military supplies. The blast killed 7 crew members and tore a hole in the side of the ship. The captain used the last bit of power to run the ship towards shallow water near the shore, where it sank up to the deck. They are now unloading the cargo and trying to refloat the ship. The communists on the bank escaped. It was said to be a part of the Viet Cong terror campaign against Saigon and against next month's election.
Give me an out! Yeah! Give me an eye!
Pick up a gun, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. Next stop is Vietnam. And it's 5, 6, 7, open up the pearly gate. Ain't no time to wonder why we'll be wrong all the time. Well, come on, General, let's move.
Chet Huntley is in Vietnam this week, and here's another of his reports. Chet?
Fighting a war like the one the United States has been waging in Vietnam for the past year has been a difficult assignment for the men charged with its management and direction. For it has been as much a political war as a military one. The commanding general of American forces in Vietnam during these crucial months has been General William Westmoreland. To keep himself and his men informed about the constantly changing military and political situations in Vietnam, the general must make frequent trips to the curiously varied elements of his command. On a recent trip, he stopped at the Special Forces camp of Duc Co, only 7 miles from the Cambodian border. I was with him, and we talked about the war. General Westmoreland, the North Vietnamese keep talking about a 20-year war. Would it be any comfort to you if we Americans began to think more in terms of, well, a possible 20 years?
Well, indeed, it's difficult to forecast how long the war will last. But I do believe it's important that we gear ourselves for a protracted conflict.
If the war should go on and on, let's say for, well, 20 years, in between now and then, is there some way, do you think, that our side could force the issue, or do we just have to wait on them?
Well, it's difficult to predict the way the war will turn. I think we must be prepared for any eventuality.
If I had
In Vietnam, American B-52 bombers have struck twice near Saigon, and U.S. planes have flown 102 more missions over the north. There was almost no ground fighting, but more communist terrorism. A grenade thrown at a jeep near Saigon injured 5 Americans, none seriously, and a guerrilla attack in the Mekong Delta killed a South Vietnamese woman and 6 children.
The following program is in living color and has been rated X by the Vietnam Academy of Magic. This is radio first summer, operating on Dave Rabbit's own frequency at 69 megacycles on your FM dial. The purpose of this program is to bring vital news, information, and hard acid rock music to the first-timers and non-re-enlistees in the Republic of Vietnam. Radio First Timer operates under no Air Force regulations or manuals. In the event of a vice squad raid, this program will automatically self-destruct. Your host tonight, Dave Rabbit.
And this is Dave Rabbit, along with my studio engineer, Pete Sadler, bringing you tonight hard-ass heart music to blow the mind with. One Rock Kings. It
isn't easy to throw your weapons aside and willingly put your life in the hands of men whom you've been fighting for years. But that is exactly what the enemy is doing under the Chieu Hoi program. This is one of the most important and dramatic programs the South Vietnamese have ever initiated. You, the American fighting man, can help. If the enemy comes to you, don't mistreat him. Show him the respect he deserves. There's a place you...
The confrontation was not created by the police. The confrontation was created by the people who charged the police. Gentlemen, get the thing straight once and for all. The policeman isn't there to create disorder. The policeman is there to preserve disorder.
Someone write to me.
I can die if that's the only way to keep men free. But still I wonder why doesn't someone write to me?
AFVN, serving the American fighting land 24 hours a day from the Delta to the DMZ, with transmitters in Hanoi, Hannah, Pleiku, and the Tri, the Filipino station in Saigon, Vietnam. The most important part of your day is mail call. It means letters from friends and loved ones back home. It means a lot. Writing back also means a lot. Write home. They'd like to hear from you, too. And when you write, be sure and use that zip code and include your full return address. Letters mean a lot to all of us.
The Young Americans for Freedom, a 70,000-member conservative youth organization, has formally withdrawn its support of President Nixon. The 904 delegates at the National Convention meeting in Houston, Texas, passed the resolution with only small opposition. The resolution cited Mr. Nixon for failures in domestic policy, but said these failures pale into insignificance alongside the tendencies of the administration in foreign policy.
AFVN News, compiled from commercial and military news agencies. From Saigon, this is the American Forces Vietnam Network.
All of the U.S. troops cannot be withdrawn in 1970. It will take many years. Ambassador Bunker, General Abrams, everyone have assured me that the U.S. people and U.S. government will continue to stay determined to help the Vietnamese people and army to defend the freedom in Vietnam.
I have asked for this radio and television time tonight for the purpose of announcing that we today have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia. The following statement is being issued at this moment in Washington and Hanoi. At 12:30 Paris time today, January 23, 1973, the agreement on ending the war and restoring peace in Vietnam was initialed by Dr. Henry Kissinger on behalf of the United States and Special Advisor Lee Duc-Tho on behalf of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. The agreement will be formally signed by the parties participating in the Paris Conference on Vietnam on January 27, 1973 at the International Conference Center in Paris. The ceasefire will take effect at 2400 Greenwich Mean Time, January 27, 1973.